It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. Lucky and Liz, part 28, Lucky part 26. This week is September 4th through October 29th, 2007. We're starting to stretch out beyond a month a little bit. Last week, I think, was just over a month. Maybe it was closer to 2. So we're getting there. Last week was just talking more about how Lucky and Liz's relationship continues to deteriorate.
You know, how he's more of a hypocrite because he wants to make her feel bad about cheating on him whenever he didn't feel that bad about cheating on her.
He was, okay, but when he was caught, he was honest about it. She had to go on the stand about it. I am not saying that that's even right either.
I think that's also because of the paternity of her baby.
Yeah, and that he still does not know.
Right.
You know, he's asked her how many times now, do you really want to be with Jason? Do you really want to be Jason? And she's like, well, if it wasn't, you're such a great dad. And if it wasn't for his job, yes.
Yes.
But, you know, she talks about being committed to her marriage, wanting to see it work out. But Lucky's like, yeah, but you're not. I keep finding you seeing Jason. Every time you say that, you go to see Jason instead of seeing me.
But to be fair,
and Sam,
he arranged her to go see him.
Once.
You can't put candy in front of me and expect me not to eat it.
You have to have some self-restraint. And he didn't say unlimited candy. He said this one time, not the whole bag.
But now he's hanging out at the candy store with Sam and he needs to stop.
Well, Sam's coming to him with some candy. So
yeah,
she's trying hardcore to get with Lucky. I mean, they've already had their own little moments.
Yes.
And I mean, yes, trust me, Lucky has now cheated twice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But yeah, Sam wants to basically use Lucky, though, to get back at Jason.
Yes.
And then, you know, Jason's struggling with, man, I wish I could be a dad, but I'm not. Sonny and everyone else keeps telling him to claim his child, but he keeps telling Liz, I need to stay away from you as she continues to go see him.
Just like, don't tell me about the baby. He has the bluest eyes.
Yep. But then in the background, and it is important because it plays a lot into thought processes behind the Jason Liz thing, is the Zakaras are a major threat and Jason is having to look out for Carly and the kids. So it's like he can't be two places at once.
Yes.
And he just keeps worrying about, you know, how his life would impact her and the kids. And so we pick up where Sam is continuing to manipulate, and her latest plan to seduce Lucky is using their strained marriage as an opportunity to get back at Liz. So if they hook up, it'll get back at Liz.
Yep.
Lucky is struggling with his own feelings, and emotional distance between him and Liz is torn. His vulnerability is clear, and Sam exploits it, knowing that his relationship with Liz is fragile. While Liz is aware of Sam's intentions and sees through her, she feels helpless. She doesn't want to push Lucky away, but every attempt to reconnect with him seems to only drive him further into Sam's orbit. At Sam's apartment, the situation escalates. Sam calls Jason, claiming that she's in danger and needs help. When Jason arrives, that was the other thing, is that Sam hired guys to intimidate Liz in the park.
She hired those guys and then claimed to be scared of those guys, and that's why she needed Lucky to be her bodyguard.
Yes, that too. So when he arrives, it becomes clear that Sam has lied to him. Oh, and that was the other thing, is that he was watching footage to find out where those guys came from. But I don't think he didn't see Sam yet.
No.
Okay. It becomes clear that Sam has lied to him. She only wants to draw him in and make him aware of her plans to seduce Lucky. Come over and help me so I can tell you about how I'm going to seduce your lover's husband.
I mean, she did flat out say last week to him, I might as well go hook up with Lucky.
Yep. Jason's furious and confronts her, telling her that he can no longer trust her and that he won't help her unless he sees danger with his own eyes. Sam becomes frustrated and angry and declares that she hates him now and would never call him again for help, no matter what the circumstances. Liar! Jason leaves, although we've all said the nevers.
That's true.
Jason leaves, realizing that he's lost whatever trust he once had in her. Lucky, feeling the weight of his marriage problems, turns to Nikolas for advice. He confides in his brother about the growing gap between him and Liz, especially when it comes to intimacy and trust. Nikolas shares his own experience with marital issues and warns Lucky about Sam's intentions, because Sam had gone to Nikolas and told him too.
Yes.
She's telling everybody, I'm going to go hook up with Lucky to destroy Liz.
Mm-hmm.
He tells him that Sam is manipulating him to get revenge on Jason and Liz, using their troubled marriage as leverage. Lucky, though, acknowledges Sam's actions, while wrong, make more sense to him lately than Liz's responses. I mean, at least Sam's honest?
Sure.
He feels misunderstood and disconnected from Liz, and Sam's attention is, for now, a welcome distraction. Liz, on the other hand, struggles with her own feelings. She opens up to Emily about the lack of intimacy in her marriage and admits that she's unsure if she's still attracted to Lucky. Emily, concerned for her, asks Liz if she's still in love with him. Liz can't give a clear answer, dodging the question and retreating into her fears. She knows that Lucky has changed, and their once passionate connection seems impossible to rekindle. Later, in an attempt to reconnect, Lucky plans a romantic evening for Liz. He sets up candles around the house and arranges for the kids to spend the night with Audrey, hoping to give them some time alone. But when he tries to remind Liz of the passionate love they once shared, she pulls away. Liz tells him too much has happened since their earlier days, and she's not ready to try again just yet. Lucky grows increasingly frustrated, asks her how he's supposed to stay faithful when she continues to push him away emotionally and physically. Liz is caught between love and fear and doesn't know how to answer. In a final confrontation, Nikolas shows up to Sam's apartment, where he warns her to stay away from Lucky so he can work things out with Liz. Sam is determined to exact her revenge and brushes off his advice. She's fixated on her need to hurt Liz and Jason, and nothing will stop her from pursuing her goal. Meanwhile, Lucky is torn between his loyalty to Liz and his growing attraction to Sam, and he finds himself at a crossroads. The emotional weight of his marriage and his own desires are pulling him in opposite directions. Liz is equally conflicted, not knowing how to bridge the gap between them. Both of them are struggling with their own versions of betrayal. Liz from Lucky's lack of trust and growing emotional distance, and Lucky from feeling neglected and unappreciated. Then Nikolas and Sam are continuing to clash over Lucky and Liz, with Sam growing increasingly frustrated. She questions Nikolas's loyalty to his brother, wondering why he wants Lucky to remain faithful to someone like Liz, who she deems frigid. Lucky's frigid, and he just had a candlelight dinner for you at home and tried to woo you in your living room?
Mm-hmm.
That's not frigid.
No, they're saying that Liz is frigid.
Oh,
Liz
yeah. Okay,
is-
sorry.
Liz is
He's talking to
frigid.
Sam. He's talking
Yes.
to Sam. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Liz is frigid. But
Yeah.
she's frigid to you for good reason.
Yeah, to Sam, you're trying to sleep with my husband. I'm not going to be BFF. Sorry.
Right.
Nikolas, ever the protector, reminds her that Lucky has a family, and if she continues to pursue her revenge, she will have nothing to lose, but Lucky will lose everything. Sam, unapologetically driven by her bitterness, insists that her actions are aimed at Jason and Liz, not Lucky. But Nikolas isn't fooled by her deflection. He sees through her pain and anger, though Sam stubbornly refuses to acknowledge the consequences of her actions. Lucky feels the weight of his failing marriage with Liz, especially when she continues to push him away. After a confrontation where he expresses his need for intimacy, Liz accuses him of only wanting her because he can't have Sam. Lucky, in frustration, declares that he is the one who will leave, unable to bear the emotional distance. He storms out and heads straight to Sam's apartment, just as she and Nikolas are embroiled in a heated discussion. Sam greets Lucky with open arms, inviting him in after Nikolas storms off in anger. Lucky's already on edge from his fight with Liz, and he listens as Sam seduces him. Her advances are a calculated response to his emotional vulnerability. Their shared kiss in the hot tub marks the beginning of a reckless, heated affair.
I mean, I think getting into the hot tub might have been the beginning of the affair, because I don't usually jump in hot tubs with men that aren't my significant other, just the two of us. But okay.
Yeah.
Later that night, Nikolas arrives at Liz's house to apologize for his late visit and explains his confrontation with Sam. He admits he went to Sam to try to get her to back off from pursuing Lucky, but when he left, Lucky was still there. Liz, having anticipated this turn of events, calmly accepts the information. She's resigned, already aware that the distance between her and Lucky is widening, and she's uncertain whether she's willing to fight to close that gap. As Lucky and Sam's affair unfolds, Liz finds herself grappling with the realization that the connection she once had with her husband is slipping further away. She confides in Emily, admitting that while she still cares for Lucky, the love they shared seems beyond their reach now. She wonders if it's too late to salvage their marriage. Emily, ever supportive, reassures her that relationships go through cycles and encourages Liz to not give up hope yet. Okay, not all relationships go through the cycle of you cheated on me and then I cheated on you and had a baby and now you're cheating on me again.
Right.
But okay.
This is a little different.
But Liz remains uncertain, unsure if she can find a way back to the man she once loved. Meanwhile, Sam tells Nikolas about her night with Lucky. While she insists it was just sex, Nikolas doesn't buy it, pointing out that she deliberately seduced Lucky as a means of revenge. Sam, unmoved by his judgment, argues that Lucky is a grown man, capable of making his own decisions. Nikolas's frustration with her grows, and he warns her that pursuing a man who is already married only complicates things further. He begs Sam to respect that Lucky has a family and needs to think about the consequences of her actions, but Sam is unapologetic, convinced that her desire for revenge is justified. The situation reaches a boiling point when Lucky returns home and admits to Liz that he spent the night with Sam. Liz, holding her composure, doesn't immediately react but presses him for details. Lucky, clearly seeking some sort of reaction, implies that he's done nothing wrong. He even suggests that Liz should feel free to be with Jason if that's what she wants. This statement stings, and Liz responds by telling him that being around Jason isn't safe for her or their children, especially given the violence that often surrounds his life. Lucky, unable to control his growing frustration, accuses Liz of only staying with him because she can't be with Jason. Liz, in turn, acknowledges that their marriage has become strained, but she wants to try to make it work, even if it takes time. Both of them are left feeling conflicted, Liz wanting to give their relationship another chance but unsure of whether it's too late, and Lucky questioning whether they can truly rebuild what they've lost. Meanwhile, Jason struggles with his own emotions as he navigates his complicated feelings for Liz. Emily encourages him to pursue her, but Jason is hesitant. What is Emily doing?
Yeah.
He fears for Liz and the kids' safety given the violent life he leads. He's torn between wanting to be there for her and knowing that his presence may only bring danger. At home, Spinelli tries to comfort Jason, but Jason's internal conflict is too deep. He reflects on how his life is full of risks and the people he loves often end up in danger because of him. He talks to Spinelli about Logan's actions, trying to assure him that in time Logan will hurt Lulu and Spinelli will need to be there for her. But Jason's own pain is evident, and his words carry the weight of someone still trying to come to terms with the love he lost. Nikolas, still seething with his conversation with Sam, vents his frustration to Emily, admitting that Lucky and Sam had sex. He questions whether he even has the right to be angry with his brother, but Emily reminds him that both Lucky and Sam made choices that have consequences. Nikolas's temper flares further when he receives bad news about the Cassadine dealings, and in a fit of rage, he smashes objects around the room, releasing his pent-up anger. As Sam reflects on her actions with Lucky, she feels a mixture of regret and validation. She confides in Maxie about the affair, acknowledging that while she doesn't regret it, she knows that Lucky will ultimately be the one to get hurt the most. Maxie, recognizing her own past mistakes, warns Sam that revenge only brings temporary satisfaction and the fallout will be long-lasting.
And it's her own mistakes with Lucky.
Right. And isn't Maxie going to be like, man, I was already with him and like told the whole world I loved him and stuff, and then we broke up and now you're hooking up with him, best friend? That's not very nice.
No.
As Liz and Lucky prepare for the day, Jason arrives at their house hoping to speak with Lucky about Lulu, who has gone missing. Liz, sensing something is wrong, steps outside to give them space. Jason explains the situation, urging Lucky to help find Lulu, but Lucky is caught off guard by Jason's involvement in the case. Nevertheless, Lucky offers his assistance, promising to pull some strings to get started on the search. As he heads off to the station, Liz makes calls of her own, trying to gather information. Emily, arriving to offer support, reassures Liz that Lulu's street-smart nature means she'll be okay. I don't think that Lulu has much street smarts, but okay. Despite Emily's optimism, Liz can't shake the feeling that her life with Lucky is unraveling, and she's left questioning how they got to this point. Liz confides in Emily about the tension in her marriage, reflecting on how she had put all her faith in Jason for so long, only to marry Lucky when she was still in love with him. She admits that she misses the connection she and Lucky once shared, but Emily pushes her to take the next step and move forward. Meanwhile, Lucky, determined to find Lulu, goes to the station where he requests an APB be put out for her, despite it not meeting the required protocol time. Nikolas, suspecting that Lucky may be pushing the search so that he could be the one to find Lulu, confronts him. Their conversation turns to Sam, and Lucky confesses that she's changed him, but he reassures Nikolas that he isn't competing with Jason, just focusing on finding his sister. Later at Kelly's, Logan and Georgie talk about Lulu, with Logan expressing regret over his role in the events leading to her disappearance. Maxie interrupts, causing a tense confrontation that ends with her blaming Logan for the mess. Lucky walks in just as Maxie accuses Logan of using Lulu as part of a bet. Tensions rise, but Georgie intervenes to point out that Maxie's bittersweetness towards Lulu is rooted in her past issues with Dylan. Maxie insists that Lulu is an adult and has the right to hide out if she chooses. Lucky, however, isn't convinced and demands that Logan contact him if he hears from Lulu. Back at the hospital, Liz and Emily discuss Lulu's disappearance. Liz fears that Lulu might do something reckless and get into trouble. She shares her discomfort about Jason's recent visit, which has stirred up old feelings and left Lucky feeling hostile towards her. Emily suggests that Jason may have used Lulu's disappearance as an excuse to stop by and check on Liz. Meanwhile, Jason is busy working with Spinelli to find any clues about Lulu's whereabouts. They manage to track down footage of her hitchhiking, revealing that she climbed into a car before speeding off. At the hospital, tensions continue to escalate. Mac arrives with Cooper to arrest Kate, causing a media frenzy. Diane steps in to intervene, using Liz, Emily, and Epiphany to help block reporters from getting a clear shot of Kate being escorted out. Liz, however, remains uneasy about her own complicated feelings as she works to protect those around her. She later discusses Lulu's disappearance with Emily, who thinks Lulu may have taken off like her father Luke, but Liz fears for her safety. Yeah, hitchhiking is not the same as Luke, who plans his escapes.
Right. As the search for Lulu intensifies, Liz receives a message that Lulu is hiding out in a barn. She decides to go find her, but not before she has a quiet conversation with Jason. He apologizes for his intrusion and admits that he's still struggling with the truth about Jake. Jason confesses that Sam is aware of his role as Jake's father, and he shares with Liz the reason Sam will keep their secret. Liz, however, is still processing everything and is uncertain about what her next step should be. She explains to Jason that although they've been through so much, they still cannot be together due to the complicated nature of their lives. Back at home, Lucky realizes that his marriage with Liz has reached beyond its breaking point. Despite his initial belief that love could conquer all, he admits that it shouldn't be this hard anymore. He tells Liz that it's time for a divorce, and she agrees, taking the blame for their problems. Liz acknowledges that she remarried him, knowing their connection was no longer the same. Although they both agree to part ways, they promise to remain connected for their children. Lucky shares the news of the divorce with Nikolas and Emily. Nikolas comforts him, assuring him that he won't try to stop the divorce, though Lucky remains uncertain about what comes next. Meanwhile, Liz, also struggling with the decision, tells Emily that she doesn't see a future with Jason, despite their deep history. She later arranges for Diane to handle the divorce proceedings. As Liz prepares to leave, She talks to Lucky about their future and how they will co-parent their children. She reassures him that she won't take anything from the marriage beyond what she brought into it. They share a bittersweet moment as they prepare to tell their children about the divorce, and Liz reminds him that he will always be loved by their boys. However, Carly learns of Lucky and Liz's divorce, and she storms over to the penthouse, demanding that Jason stay away from Liz. With their marriage over, Liz and Lucky face an uncertain future, and the tension remains. Liz's decision to leave is final, but the emotional toll it takes on them both is far from over. Nikolas is clearly frustrated, and he's taking out his anger on Alfred. Oh, I miss Alfred.
I do miss Alfred.
Over his morning coffee. But when Emily arrives, he apologized, trying to focus on the plans for the day. Emily, however, had to adjust her schedule. Liz had called, asking for help moving, and she couldn't refuse. They kissed, agreeing to reschedule their time together. Why doesn't he go over and help her move too?
Right?
As Emily left, Nikolas couldn't shake his bad mood, kicking the table in frustration. At the Spencers' house, Liz was still processing her weight of the weight of her divorce. She and Emily had just told Cameron, and though Liz wasn't sure how much he understood, Emily reassured her that Cameron knew his parents loved him. They started cleaning out the closet, with Liz reflecting on the pain of packing away reminders of the life she had built with Lucky. While she was certain that ending the marriage was the right choice, it didn't make the emotional toll any easier to bear. She confessed to Emily that the hardest part was letting go of the dreams they once shared. Emily, always there for Liz, took the opportunity to ask Nikolas about his moodiness. Liz agreed that his anger seemed to run in the family, and while she was confident that Emily's love could help him, Emily admitted that things were far from easy for Nikolas. She tried to reassure Liz that she wasn't a failure. Liz couldn't help but feel like she was starting over with little to her name. Financially, she was struggling. Though Emily offered to help, Liz declined, feeling like this was something she had to do on her own, especially after Lucky's heated argument about money. Especially after her and Lucky's heated arguments about money. She hoped that once the divorce was final, Lucky would stop feeling guilty and they could figure out a co-parenting arrangement. As Emily left to drop more of Liz's things at Audrey's house, Lucky returned, offering to help with the move. Liz, though surprised by his change of heart, remained firm. She felt that it was best to keep moving forward. Lucky suggested that he move out, letting Liz and the boys stay in the house, but she turned down his offer. The house, she believed, was his and his family's, and it wasn't fair to take it from them. Remember, this was Luke and Laura's house.
Mm-hmm.
So he's offering to leave. Like, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Sam, who took Jason's penthouse, but it also wasn't family. It wasn't,
Yeah.
They shared a bittersweet conversation, with Lucky reminding her that he wanted her to be happy. When Emily returned to check on Liz and offered support, Liz was ready to leave, and they drove off together. Lucky watched them go, a sadness washing over him.
Poor Lucky.
Yeah.
Later at the hospital, Robin approached Nikolas at the nurse's station to ask about his blood work. Nikolas, clearly on edge, requested that she handle the test privately, wanting to keep things under wraps. Robin, sensing that something was off, prodded for more details, but Nikolas shut her down. He insisted that the blood work was to check for any lasting effects from the poison Jerry had injected him with. He didn't want to go into detail, but mentioned that he needed everything in order before he took the next step with Emily. Robin, though concerned, dropped the issue, wishing him well and telling him she hoped he found happiness with Emily. At Audrey's house, Liz continued to wrestle with her emotions. Moving in with Audrey, though a temporary solution, still left her feeling lost. She expressed to Emily how little she had left from her marriage with Lucky. Emily, ever supportive, reassured her that her divorce didn't define her, but Liz couldn't shake the sense of failure. Despite this, Emily gently nudged her towards the idea of being with Jason now that her marriage was over. Hey, the divorce couldn't have even been finalized through the court yet. And they're like,
Nope.
Well, that's done. Time to move on. Oh my gosh. Liz, however, quickly dismissed the idea. She believed that being with Jason wasn't safe for her children, considering the danger that surrounded his life. Meanwhile, Nikolas visited Lucky at home, offering a shoulder to lean on if he needed it. Lucky, though grateful for the offer, admitted that he felt a strange sense of relief now that the divorce was happening. Though he would miss having the boys with him, the emotional burden of the marriage was no longer there. Later, Nikolas, unable to shake his unease, left a message for Robin to update him on the blood work results. But just as he was processing his own demons, Jerry showed up at the hotel. Nikolas wasted no time confronting him, demanding answers about the poison and whether there were any lingering side effects he should be concerned about. Back at Sam's place, Lucky tried to push boundaries by inviting himself into her hot tub, but Sam's response was to throw a towel in his face, an unspoken rejection that made it clear she wasn't ready to entertain anything with him. Well, that's kind of a conflicting idea since she was in the hot tub with him the other day.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Liz, trying to adjust to her new life, sat with the baby, promising to care for him and keep him safe no matter what the future held. Carly, on edge about Jerry's threats, found herself even more frightened when she discovered the front door ajar. After locking it, she was startled by Jason's sudden appearance. Though she chastised him for scaring her, Jason had a point to make. He reminded her that she wasn't safe at the house. Carly clung to the idea that Jax was protecting her, but Jason warned her that Jax's threats wouldn't hold Zakara off for long. Carly, not liking the direction of the conversation, insisted that she was fine, but then she mentioned that if Jason spent more time at her house, it would keep Liz from trying to come around and claim him now that she was divorcing Lucky. Jason's anger flared at Carly's insinuation, and he snapped at her to never speak about Liz that way again. He shared with her in no uncertain terms that he would love to have a family like Liz's, but he couldn't risk putting them in danger. Carly was left speechless as Jason walked away, his words revealing just how deep his feelings for Liz went. Carly was not happy to hear that. Meanwhile, the drama surrounding Lucky and Liz's divorce took an unexpected turn when Lucky decided to ask Alexis to handle the case, dismissing Diane due to her close ties to Jason. This led to a sparring match between Diane and Alexis, who would oversee the divorce, adding yet another layer of tension to an already complicated situation. Carly found herself sympathizing with Lulu over her breakup with Logan, though Logan refused to give up on her. Later, Nikolas confronted Logan, his anger erupting violently, but afterwards he admitted to Alfred that he had been experiencing blackouts. At the hospital, Kate's first day of community service was clearly uncomfortable for her, and Trevor dropped a bombshell that left her rattled. The tension between Lucky and Liz deepens as their divorce proceedings spiral into more conflict. The divide between them grows wider, especially as they clash over which lawyer will represent them. Diane and Alexis, each fiercely loyal to their clients, spar over the case, both determined to secure the best possible outcome. Lucky, already heartbroken and bitter over Liz's affair with Jason, is enraged when Liz hires Diane, Jason's lawyer. He feels betrayed all over again and is looking for a way to protect himself and his rights to the children. Alexis, still caught in her complicated relationship with Christina, tries to mediate but can sense that the situation is heading towards a messy and prolonged battle. Lucky, frustrated and desperate, turns to Alexis, hoping she can shield him from the fallout of his painful divorce. But Nikolas, observing from the sidelines, warns him that pushing the issue with Liz could end up causing even more harm. He tells Lucky that by engaging in this fight, he risks hurting himself and everyone around him. I mean, it should have been pretty simple. They, didn't own anything.
Right.
I don't see
And
Lucky.
she said that he could keep his parents, or they bought the house, right? But
I don't
still,
know if they bought it or not. But yeah, I said you could have it, so we'll just split the kids. Why is it becoming a thing? At the police station, Lucky witnesses Nikolas's uncontrollable rage firsthand when Nikolas violently intervenes during an altercation. Surprised by his outburst, Lucky begins to wonder what's really going on with his brother. Nikolas, usually so composed, seems to be unraveling in front of him. After the incident, Nikolas brushes it off, claiming that he's been under a lot of stress, but it's clear that something deeper is troubling him. Lucky, distracted by his own turmoil, doesn't press further, but it's a moment that will weigh on both of them. Back at the Spencer house, Liz is trying to stay positive. She discusses plans for the new house, focusing on the future and how the kids will love it. Emily, ever supportive, is happy that Liz is finding a way forward, but Liz's discomfort with the divorce process is undeniable. She's still processing the end of her marriage, and the thought of Alexis being involved as Lucky's attorney only adds to the strain. The idea that Lucky is being represented by Alexis, who is personally connected to Sam, doesn't sit well with Liz. She turns to Epiphany for advice, hoping to gain some perspective. Epiphany, ever blunt, advises Liz that the divorce will be a mess if they don't handle things carefully. She warns Liz that it may not be as simple as she hopes, and that the longer they try to avoid confrontation, the messier it will become. Liz listens, taking it all in, but her desire for peace and smooth transition is at odds with the harsh reality of her situation. Later, Liz heads to meet Diane, and Emily suggests they take a night out to unwind. Liz, feeling the weight of the divorce, agrees, hoping that a little distraction will help. Just as they're about to leave, Lainey informs them about Nikolas's violent outburst at the police station. Liz is concerned, but she knows that right now she needs to focus on her own life. She can't afford to let Nikolas's problems overwhelm her when she's trying to navigate her own. Nikolas, meanwhile, is seen wandering the park with blood on his hands after his confrontation at the station. His emotional state is clearly deteriorating, but he is not ready to talk about it yet.
Okay. I like how she's not even concerned. Like, I get that the concern is Nikolas because he just did something at the police station, but she's like, I can't be concerned about Nikolas. How about you be concerned about Lucky?
Right.
You know, it would be okay to, I know that you still get concerned about your ex, like if you see stuff with cops and stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah, you still care. Okay. When Liz and Lucky meet with their respective attorneys, the sparks fly. Alexis and Diane immediately lock horns, each lawyer determined to get what they want for their client. Were they friends yet?
I don't think so.
2007? I don't think so either.
No, I think that it was these type of like sparring episodes that made their friendship.
Yeah. Diane is confident that she can secure Liz the best deal, even if it means putting Lucky through the ringer. She's not afraid to play hardball, and she's willing to go to great lengths to make sure Liz gets custody of the kids. She warns Lucky that if he doesn't sign the papers, he'll be stuck with minimal visitation rights, just holidays and some weekends. Diane knows about Jake.
Yep, you're going to get
Does
there.
Liz know that Diane knows about Jake?
I don't know. Not yet, but you'll get there.
Okay. Alexis, however, tries to downplay the situation, telling Liz that Diane is just trying to intimidate her. The two lawyers' verbal sparring only intensifies the tension between Liz and Lucky, and what was already a painful divorce begins to feel like an all-out war. Lucky, already wounded by the affair and dissolution of his marriage, retaliates by threatening to file for sole custody of Jake if Liz doesn't meet his demands. This threat adds fuel to the fire, and Liz, desperate not to hurt her children, feels cornered. She tries to keep things civil, but the accusations and threats from both sides make it impossible. Diane, seeing an opening, presses for an agreement that will give Liz sole custody while ensuring Lucky gets minimal visitation. Lucky, unable to hide his bitterness, clings to the hope that he can still have a meaningful role in his children's lives, but his attempt to force Liz into a corner only makes things worse. Okay, I had to go to mediation with my ex. Didn't you? Did you have to go to mediation? Like you had to go to like a one-day course where it talked about the fact that this isn't about you, it's about the kids?
So you're supposed to have to go to that. I went to it, but my ex never did, and they didn't do anything about it.
Fantastic. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
My ex and I wound up going to the same one.
That's funny.
So I at least know what he was told.
There you go.
But especially where, like we just said, this wasn't, they both decided, this doesn't have to be this.
Right.
As Lucky tries to navigate his own emotions, Logan seeks him out, looking for advice about his relationship with Lulu. Logan reveals that his father is Scott and was involved in some shady dealings, and Lucky, the ever-protector, urges him to focus on his sister and stop getting tangled up in the family mess. But when Rick enters, the conversation turns back to Lucky's divorce. Rick, whose own personal history with Liz is complicated, tries to make Lucky feel guilty about the way things unfolded with their marriage. Lucky, however, isn't interested in Rick's opinion. And guys, this is also why Lucky doesn't really care for Rick too much.
Yep.
Not just this scene here, but like,
Rick is a person.
Yes. He's done with the past and wants to focus on moving forward. But Rick, bitter and resentful, continues to press, making Lucky's anger flare even more. When Diane and Alexis continue to strategize, trying to figure out the best course of action for their clients, Diane, always the strategist, suggests using Lucky's affair with Sam as leverage, hoping it will weaken his position. Alexis, not one to back down, counters by suggesting that they bring up Jason's history with Liz in court. She warns that if Liz doesn't agree to joint custody, she'll paint a picture of Liz as a mother who's willing to put her children at risk by allowing Jason into their lives. Diane, always sharp, focuses on the issue of Jake's custody, but Alexis insists that the court will have a hard time accepting that Cameron, who has no biological connection to Lucky, could be taken away from the only father he's ever known. The battle lines are drawn as both women are prepared for a long and ugly fight. The fight is not there. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're taking on the fight for their client, but...
Right.
Diane, showing no mercy, asserts that Liz should have sole custody with Lucky allowed limited visitation rights. I don't understand the limited. She's confident in her. I could understand if we need to have ongoing clean drug testing, being that this is a stressful situation. And in the past, this is when his addiction has taken a stronghold. We need to make sure that he is also okay. That I could understand. But this is not being mentioned.
Nope.
She's confident in her strategy, knowing that Lucky's past struggles with substance abuse will give her the edge. No, this isn't what we're supposed to be using. Okay, no. Alexis, however, is less concerned with tactics and more focused on the human side of things. Thank you. Reminding Diane that they're talking about real people, not just legal arguments. But Diane is determined, unwilling to back down. She's ready to go to court and fight for Liz's rights, regardless of the emotional fallout. Emily arrives at Liz's new house to help her settle in. Liz is grateful for the distraction, especially with all the turmoil surrounding her divorce from Lucky. She is eager to start fresh, away from her grandmother's house, and wants to show her independence. Liz hopes that after the divorce, she and Lucky can find a way to co-parent and make things right for their sons. As they talk, Diane arrives with news of the ongoing legal battle. Liz asks her about meeting with Alexis, and Diane confidently states that she will be tearing Alexis apart in court. Liz will get everything she deserves. Meanwhile, Alexis meets with Lucky and urges him to file for emergency guardianship of Jake. Lucky is hesitant, but Alexis reassures him that if it's a temporary measure that will show Liz's unwillingness to compromise. He agrees and signs the paper, unaware of the escalation it will cause. At Liz's new house, Diane warns her to be prepared for Alexis to push for full custody of Jake, advising that she's going to fight hard for Lucky's rights. Liz doesn't want to drag the custody battle out and insists she wants full custody of her sons, but that Lucky should be able to see them whenever he wants. Emily, noting Diane's combative tone, suggests that she's overcomplicating things. Yes, Diane, love you. 100% you are.
Mm-hmm.
Diane counters that they need to wait until Lucky files his motion before they can negotiate. As the conversation continues, Liz is distracted by a car horn outside. Her grandmother has arrived home with more of her belongings, and Emily goes out to help. While Emily is away, Diane presents Liz with an option to tell the court that Lucky isn't Jake's biological father. Liz immediately rejects the idea, insisting that it would hurt Lucky too much and that she wants him involved in their sons' lives. Diane gets a call and informs them that Alexis has already filed for emergency custody on Lucky's behalf, much to Liz's shock. Liz wonders why Lucky would go this far, and Diane heads off to find out more. As Liz and Emily share a glass of wine, Emily suggests that Lucky is deeply hurt by the divorce and will eventually calm down, agreeing to full custody for Liz. Meanwhile, Nikolas is dealing with his own issues. He orders Alfred remove all the sharp objects from the house and tries focusing on the upcoming ball that he's planning, despite his fragile state. Lucky arrives, and the two talk about the ongoing divorce. Nikolas questions whether filing for emergency custody was the right move, especially given what Liz has already gone through with Jake's kidnapping. Lucky is still feeling betrayed by Liz, and he insists that he wants the ability to see his sons whenever he wants. Nikolas advises him to try to work things out with Liz before it's too late and things go too far. Lucky arrives at Liz's house, hoping for a private conversation without the presence of lawyers. Liz confronts him, asking why he requested emergency custody, accusing her of being an unfit mother. Lucky tries to explain that he doesn't want to take Jake away from her, but feels that she's forcing his hand. Just then, Alexis and Diane show up, and the attorneys immediately begin arguing in front of Lucky and Liz, as though they aren't even in the room. Frustrated, Liz yells at them to stop, making it clear that no one will take her son away from her. Elsewhere, Sam is dealing with her own set of problems. After being reunited with Lucky, the two make love, but soon after, Lucky is called away on police business. Left alone, Sam confronts Jerry, but he threatens her, demanding she seduce Trevor or he'll kill Lucky. Guys, Trevor is Trevor Lansing, Rick's dad.
Ugh.
Sam, feeling powerless, is caught in Jerry's dangerous web.
So gross. Back with Nikolas and Lucky, Nikolas inquires about how the divorce reached this point in mediation. Lucky explains the role the lawyers have played, but Nikolas reminds him that he needs to do what's best for the kids. Lucky, consumed by his fear of losing his children, reveals that things were fine until Liz hired Jason's lawyer, Diane. Nikolas tells him that Liz isn't going to let anyone, especially Diane or Jason, dictate what's best for her kids. He urges Lucky to give her the chance to do the right thing. Later, Liz talks to Emily about how close she came to losing Jake when Lucky filed for emergency custody. Emily is stunned but empathetic, understanding that Lucky is still reeling from the breakdown of their marriage. She encourages Liz to recognize that for all the pain they've caused each other, Lucky still loves his sons and is devastated by how their marriage ended. Emily believes that Liz may have the opportunity to help him heal, just as he's always been there for her. In a tense mediation session, both parties are forced to confront their pasts. Diane, representing Lucky, brings up his history with drugs, questioning his ability to be a father to Jake. She even accuses him of being a danger to the children. Meanwhile, Alexis, representing Liz, claims that Liz's association with criminal elements makes her a bad influence. The accusations continue to fly, with Diane even calling out Lucky's affair with Sam, raising questions about his commitment to the family. Liz finally has enough and steps in, calling for an end of the combative exchange. She insists that neither of them wants this battle to continue and just wants what's best for their children. Elsewhere, Emily and Nikolas have a quiet conversation about Liz and Lucky. Nikolas admits his concerns over Lucky's actions and his own health. With his test still pending, Nikolas struggles with violent outbursts that he fears he cannot control. Emily reassures him, but Nikolas is clearly afraid that he might hurt someone, particularly someone he cares about. His frustration grows as he wonders if he's already lost control. Still, he continues to try and support Emily, even though he's battling his own demons. You would think that Emily would be concerned too. Like, she's seen him freak out. You're just going to be like, no, honey, it's fine the whole entire time.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? After the mediation, Lucky visits Liz at her new house, expressing gratitude for how she handled the session. Despite their differences, he tells her he will always be there for her and their sons, no matter the outcome of the custody battle. Liz is hopeful that they can remain friends, but she is focused on the future of their family, even if it means making difficult decisions. Meanwhile, Sam shows up at the hospital to have her stitches removed, but her real intention is to confront Liz. She tries to keep it businesslike at first, but Liz sees right through her. The tension between them quickly escalates as Sam accuses Liz of manipulating Lucky. Liz retorts that Sam is the only one using Lucky for their own needs. Their argument becomes heated, but it's Nikolas who intervenes, demanding that Sam back off. Sam is furious with Nikolas for siding with Liz and expresses her frustration with his lack of loyalty to his own family. But Nikolas, whose patience is wearing thin, insists that Sam leave Liz alone. Elsewhere, Emily invites Jason to the ball, subtly encouraging him to re-enter Liz's life now that she is going through a divorce. Jason remains distant, still grappling with his feelings about Liz having his child. He is happy that she has a new home, but the thought of being involved in her life again brings a mixture of emotions. Emily pushes the idea, reminding him that Liz would be much happier if he was there for her, especially now. Again, how about we give people some time to heal?
Right. No, next day.
Later, Sam arrives at Windermere to speak with Nikolas, seeking to clear the air about her relationship with Lucky and Liz. However, Nikolas is on edge and his temper flares once more. He grabs Sam by the arms in a fit of rage and begins shaking her. The confrontation becomes dangerously intense as Nikolas's erratic behavior takes over, but he stops just before things escalate too far, realizing he has no memory of the violent outburst. He explains that the doctors are trying to figure out what's wrong with him, but he fears it may already be too late to undo the damage. Sam suggests he reconsider hosting the ball, but Nikolas insists on going through with his plans, unwilling to disappoint Emily. When Emily arrives, Nikolas confesses that he almost hurt Sam, and she reassures him that they will get to the bottom of this health issue. Still, Nikolas is left fearing that he is losing control of his own mind. Emily was going to school to be a doctor, correct? But okay.
Yes, she was. I think at this point, wasn't she a doctor?
I don't know if she was a doctor yet, but either way, she's definitely had enough medical training to know that we should not be telling this man who says he almost hurt someone It'll be fine. We'll get to the bottom of it. Let's just have a party.
But she did become a doctor, right? Like,
I believe so.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if she did, then she is one right now.
Right. Okay. At the ball, Lucky asks...
At this point, she would be a doctor by now.
Okay. At the ball, Lucky asks Sam to be his date. Liz inadvertently triggers another episode in Nikolas when she brings up his health and he explodes in anger. Emily steps in to calm him down and the evening's festivities take a momentary pause. As the night goes on, Liz has an emotional conversation with Lulu where she confides in her about how close she came to losing Jake during the custody battle. She keeps saying losing like he was going to die. Like, it would have been okay.
Right.
You would have figured it out. You would have just demanded another hearing, but okay. Lulu is shocked but supportive, and the two women begin to repair their strained relationship. Meanwhile, Carly continues on her destructive path while Lulu and Logan prepare for the ball together. When the ball begins, Nikolas makes a public announcement revealing his plans to give an endowment to General Hospital in honor of Alan Quartermain. The room erupts in applause as he and Emily share a kiss, but the moment is bittersweet for Liz. Watching them, she is reminded of the good times she shared with Lucky, and she can't help but feel the weight of the life they could have had. Lucky joins her outside and they share a quiet, reflective moment, reminiscing about the past. They share a dance, recalling the simpler times when they thought they would grow old together. Despite everything, neither of them regret their time together. Lucky asks Liz for one last dance for old time's sake, and as they dance, they're reminded of their deep connection. However, Sam, who's been watching from the shadows, feels the sting of their bond. When the dance ends, Sam confronts Liz, accusing her of playing with Lucky's emotions. A fight breaks out between them, with Liz slapping Sam and Sam retaliating with a punch. The argument spirals out of control until Lucky intervenes, demanding to know what's happening. Sam accuses Liz of lying, claiming she's the one responsible for all the turmoil in their lives. Emily steps in, taking Liz's side, and chastises Lucky for not recognizing Liz's efforts in the mediation. Nikolas, still on edge, approaches Emily and accuses her of taking Liz's side over his. Emily quickly realizes that Nikolas is having another episode, and she steps back, taking Liz to another room to help her fix her dress. Nikolas later apologizes to both Liz and Emily for his behavior, explaining that he's undergoing tests to figure out what's causing his violent outbursts. Liz expresses concern about his well-being, but also stresses that he needs to tell Lucky the truth. Nikolas seems reluctant, but both Liz and Emily point out that his silence could cause more harm than good. As Nikolas grapples with his mental health, Lucky and Sam have a private conversation where Sam expresses doubts about their relationship. She questions why they are even trying when their love seems to have faded. As the night continues, Liz confides in Lucky about Nikolas's outburst, worried that he could be a danger to those around him. As Liz wanders through Windermere searching for flashlights, she is followed by Anthony. Meanwhile, Sam catches up with Lucky and informs him that someone has tampered with the generator. Luke arrives with troubling news about Rick, telling everyone that he has been stabbed. In the chaos that follows, Luke urges them to all stick together for safety.
There's a reason why there's so much focus on Nikolas, just going to say.
Okay.
Because it actually does make a difference, but you have to find out next week.
Ooh, keep us on the edge of our seats.
Dun, dun, dun. But in the meantime, join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows, which have nothing to do with any of this.
It does, because Lucky and Liz are together, and that's all that we care about.
Someone could be listening to this in 20 years. It's June 2025. Someone could be listening to this in 2030 and they're like, everyone's dead.
Don't say that.
Listen, this is what they're doing.
No, we're not killing any more people. At least not people our age. That's just devastating.
No, yes. No killing of Lucky. Again.
That's right. Exactly. He's died enough times.
I've already dealt with his death twice. Come on.
So on that note, have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.